to our final panelist for this session, Ståle Hagen, who is the project director of Trains and Trams, the YES EU group. You can keep us on the rails and take us to a happy terminus. Yeah, I believe you have a PowerPoint, is that correct?
Yes, I had some few slides I had to show you. Yeah,
excellent.
Thank you. Your Excellencies, distinguished and honored guests, it's a really honor for me to be here to speak with you on how battery-operated trains can be an important part of the investments in future e-mobility. The next one, please. I will have a short introduction of YES EU and of me, and then I will tell you about some possibilities what battery trains can do within investments here in Kosovo and other countries in the area. Next, please. YES EU is a leading provider within e-mobility solutions. We have kept on for more than 50 years within electric buses. We have started up in Iceland and the northern part of Europe. And I am from Norway. And as you maybe know, 95% of all cars sold in Norway are fully electric. And more than 50%, thank you, more than 50% of all cars on the road are fully electric. So we are a pioneer within electric vehicles and electric buses. And I think Kosovo can be the same within battery and energy saving systems maybe. And we hope so. And also within batteries and trains. So this is just a short introduction of me. I worked several years in KPMG within strategy and within transport and public transport and infrastructure investments. Also worked for the national government and more than 25 years as a politician and doing a lot with the incentives and what's have impact and what does not when you're doing investments in e-mobility solutions. And also 17 years or 16 years in the army. So that's also an important role when we say about the data security within these systems. Yes, that's my background as well. As you can see, it's a lot of military introduction here. Well, some of you are politicians, and you maybe know that you have signed an agreement, the Paris Agreement. This is the symbol of the Paris Agreement. And a lot of politicians, they are struggling to deliver the results. How can we fulfill the goals that are set up in the Paris Agreement? And if you know, a lot of lines, railway lines around Europe, they are not electrified. They are operated by battery trains. And what's a huge cost for every government is to electrify those lines. They are very often in rural areas with a low density of people and also with low traffic. So it's a high cost to invest to electrify those lines. Or also if you're constructing new lines, you will see that it's a huge part of the investment is to electrify the lines with sticks, cables, and everything you need to operate the electric train. I will not go into detail of the project that we are working on, but just to show you some figures. Because the government of Norway has 3 lines that they have calculated on what the cost will be. This is existing lines. They have been there for more than 100 years. But this is existing lines operated by diesel trains. What will it cost to electrify them? And for those 3 lines, they have now 2 billion euros. 2 billion euros it will cost to electrify these existing lines. And that's of course, even for Norway, and a very high cost to do so. And they postponed it every year. So then we say the solution is just to replace the diesel trains with battery trains. That's the solution. You don't have to use $2 billion to invest in these lines, to electrify them. Use battery trains. It's totally zero emission. It's much more sustainable than the trains that's operating there today. And this is also a project that I want to tell you about. This is a project in Albania, and it's also connected to Pristina, where we are now, of course. This is a line under construction. from the city of Tirana to the airport and to the coast city Durrës, at the coastline on Albania, and also connected to Pristina. And we are telling that we are finding out that more normal you will save 40% of the cost when you invest in a line which is electrified. So if we can go to the government and say to them, if you construct this line, but you're using battery trains instead of electrified trains, then you can save 40% of the costs that you can use on other things to get also sustainable solutions. We think that's a very huge option, and if we will invest in this line, we can of course also do the service for batteries and the service for trains. We can do it here in Kosovo. We can assemble the batteries and have service on the batteries on these trains here in Kosovo or in the area. So this is a huge possibility for the governments in all Europe to much more quick replace old-fashioned trains, diesel trains, with new and bright technology like battery trains. And that is about 20,000 passengers going from this airport every day. So think about what kind of impact it will have if you replace the 20,000 people going there today with a car, and they can go with a battery train instead. All the tourists is going from Tirana airport to the coast. That will be a huge impact on the emission and with much more sustainable solutions. And I also mentioned for the short this is the maintenance machines and the terminal machines. They are also operating today with diesel, so it's much easier to use them and replace them with battery-operated machines. That's no problem, because they are working today because the electricity is cut because they work on it, or it's a new line they're working on, so they are operated by diesel, but it's no problem to use them with batteries. And this is the same. You see also other machines like this. The municipalities and the governments can use their power in tender processes, and they do, to buy more sustainable solutions. And this is the last slide. This is not happening today. If I ask you how many people here in this room has driven an electric car, that's not very many. But in 5 years, maybe very many of you have, like it is in Norway. So this is a highway. This is a highway to, not to hell, but to L, electricity. And if you see what the municipality of Oslo says, if we can use and buy these machines, we will replace all of our old machines with new machines. And that's the point today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and that was a very interesting and timely presentation of some of the practical opportunities and solutions there are out there to help us move towards a net zero future, which is really what underlies the whole discussion.